Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to my morning report with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantech Markets for Thursday the 7th of August. The European trading session has got off to a bad start again, and the geopolitical concerns that surround Ukraine and Russia continue to dog these markets. Further news overnight that Vladimir Putin is enacting some retaliatory sanctions against the EU and US agricultural sector. Have certainly dampened the mood of investors in the early morning session. European markets are lower again. The DAX is again underperforming. It's down 0.6% at the moment. FTSE down just over a third of a percent. But certainly the pressure once again looks to be to the downside. No real prospect of a recovery too much yet. Although the US markets did find a bit of support yesterday, that hasn't been filtered through into the European session, and we look like it's going to be a little bit of a negative day once again. As I said, the with the US markets looking fairly positive, or certainly finding a bit of support, that VIX index has just peaked a little bit at around that 17 mark, but it certainly still looks like there could be some further problems. Certainly, if the geopolitical tensions continue to dominate the market, the VIX could continue to rise, and that next high is at 17.8. So that's the March high that we'd be looking at there if you break above the 17 mark. In terms of the dollar index, the dollar continues to remain strong. It's actually trading higher against all the major currencies today. The euro is a slightly negative, and that has come on the back of the disappointing German industrial production numbers that have followed. That's the second time this week you've had disappointing data out of Germany after the factory output as well was disappointing yesterday, and the euro remains under pressure. The Aussie is the other main currency that's lower, down 1% against the dollar, and that's come after disappointing unemployment data that has shown that Aussie unemployment is up at a 12-year high at 6.4%, and under a bit of pressure, certainly the Aussie today. In terms of what we're looking at forward, you haven't got a great deal out this morning until you've got the two big central banks from Europe announcing monetary policy. First of all, with the Bank of England, there's no real prospect of any change to rates. The consensus has been 9-0 in terms of keeping rates on hold for months now. And it's not until the next couple of weeks when we get the minutes out whether we see there's a slight change or a slight shift in that consensus view. But the likelihood is, or the overwhelming likelihood is, that we're still going to continue to remain hold on rates. In terms of the ECB, that's at 12:45. That's again no change expected there, but I think more interesting will be once again the press conference that comes that's Mario Draghi will hold at 1:30. Markets will be looking for certainly a reaction to. I mean, there'll be questions presumably about the fact that Italy is falling into recession and what the ECB intends to do going forward. Possibilities of an update on quantitative easing as well in terms of how the ECB see that moving forward. So quite a lot to go through in the press conference at 1:30. So there could be a bit of action around the euro at that time. In terms of the US, you haven't really got a great deal other than the weekly jobless claims that come out at 1:30. That's forecast to just rise slightly to 305,000. But again, you can see that this is a big downtrend, a trend of improving jobless claims in the US. So that shouldn't be too much of an impact on the dollar. In terms of my chart of the day, I'm going to look at silver today. Silver and gold have both been in decline recently, but there was a big jump yesterday in the precious metals across the board, and that helped. That was helped higher by reports that the Ukraine was just noting the fact that the Russian troops are mounting on its borders, and it was saying that it would certainly not holding back from any reaction to that if they started to move into Ukraine. But certainly the precious metals had a good day yesterday. But what sort of impact has it had on the charts? Not a great deal in terms of silver. You're still in that big downtrend that you've been in for the past 4 weeks, and it's fairly well defined actually, but it's quite a long way higher, but it's now up at that 20.5, and I'll zoom out slightly here because you've got 20.5, which is a historic pivot level on silver. Time and time again, it's been used as the basis of resistance and support throughout the past, over the past year at least, and that comes in quite a long way higher from where we are, 1994, so around about that 20 mark at the moment on silver. But certainly that reaction higher could even just be another chance to sell, because you've got these momentum indicators that are looking pretty bearish. They're all consistently falling away and not showing any real positivity. And on this intraday chart, you'll see here that series of lower highs on the intraday hourly chart, and I've drawn in resistance lines at 2025, which is the first real resistance that comes in. That was a support that has become a resistance, so 2025 is a key level, and above there the key support comes in at above 2050. You've got the key resistance at 2070 as well. In terms of on the downside, you're certainly looking in the last few minutes, silver has just disappointedly fallen over a little bit. And you look at these momentum indicators on the hourly chart, the RSI has just once again unwound to that 60 mark and is just falling over. MACD lines have actually given an intraday sell signal, and the stochastics are also in decline. So you'd certainly say that the momentum is just regaining a bit of downside on that chart at the moment. And you could well see a retest of that 1969. It shows no real shows no real desire yet to really break this sequence of lower highs on this downtrend that we've seen over the past month. And I think any sort of rally in this silver chart is probably looking to be a near-term sell, because it looks like there's going to be further weakness in due course. Okay, well that's my analysis on silver for today. I wish you good luck in your trading, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.